Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Rennick, and I've got a message for you. When it comes to the blogs, we're not done yet. Jason's done a great job of bringing us to where we are right now, and he showed us multiple ways, but his big way is using Zapier that will actually create the HTML file. Very important. It goes out, it figures out what topics to use, and it creates the HTML file, and that's very close to the finish line, but we're not quite there. What is the finish line? We need to make sure we go register our websites, our blogs. So when you create a blog page, and I'm going to show you here in just a second, I'm writing solo. So let me make sure I do the right thing here. This is a Google Search Console. You want to go out and do a search for the Google Search Console. You want to sign in. If you have any problems with that, give me a call on my cell and I'll help you. But you want to set up an account on the Google Search Console, and you want to set it up on the Bing Webmaster tools. Both are very important. Now, let me talk about this for just a second. These are only going to show the searches, people coming into your blogs through either Google or through Bing, not through the AIs. My commitment to everyone is figuring out how to measure that. How do we tell how many times it's shown in ChatGPT and all that kind of stuff? I've seen a lot of people saying we're getting these phone calls and these deals and stuff like that. But the first step we have to do is get our blog seen. Jason, again, has taught us how to pick the right titles, how to create the right content, but that's not the finish line. We have to publish them, so to speak, so that they're findable out there. And there's other structure, and I'll come back, I'll do videos on that. But let's talk today, for example, if we come over here and I want to do Google first. It's a little bit easier. You come over on the left side where it says URL inspection. And you notice here, I've got the blog console up, not the Team Rennick. I've got the blog. And I come here, and this is one of the latest I've just published. So let's see if it's already been picked up by Google. Sometimes it has been, sometimes it hasn't. So let me go in and hit enter here. And this is not on Google, so that's good. This is a new blog that went out today. So I am going to come over here and I'm going to request indexing. Now, someone's going to say in WordPress, there's some snippets or plugins that will do that. There are, but I want to take us one step at a time before we get to that. So anyone that may not be on WordPress or may not know how to load the right plugin, I want to show you how to do it manually. And I make sure this happens for each of my blogs. So right there, I've requested it. So on Google, it's all set. If I come in later today, it will be out there. Let's go over to Bing. Same thing. I come over to URL inspection. Again, it's the blog website that I'm looking at, not the other one. Copy and paste it here. Now, this is something interesting, and we're all going to run into trouble. It says discovered but not crawled. And that used to confuse me. It was what I call a conundrum. I know what it means. I don't know how to spell that word, but it was definitely frustrating. But I found this out here. You see at the top where it says live URL. When you see discovered but not crawled, don't click on request indexing. Go out here and pull the live URL. Let's see what Bing has to say about this. So it's going to take a minute or two. Bing's actually going to go back out there. And it says it can appear. There's a problem with the alt attribute for the images. Bing doesn't really care about that. It highlights that. It's not going to stop it from being indexed. So right now I can go out here and I can request indexing and click submit. What I really wanted to show on Bing was this live URL trick. I think that's very, very important. So again, I want to keep this video short, but the key on this thing is simple. Once we go through and we've created the content, we now need to publish or we need to register. So it's not just uploading it to your website. Once you're there and you have the website URL, you want to make sure it's registered on Bing and on Google. And I'm going to come back and do a full video on this, but let's take a look at this for a second. If I come back over here and I go into Google and I go into overview, let's look at insights. Let's go to search results. I want to show a better chart. So if we look at this, this is how many times my blogs. Look at here in the upper left-hand corner, just the blog website. In the last 28 days, my blog has been in front of almost 16,000 people. Look at total impressions. How many times a user saw a link to your site in the search results. So when they were searching just on Google, nowhere else, none of the AIs, anything, just on Google, 15,800 times in the last 28 days, my blog titles came up. And 147 times is how many times someone clicked on one of mine and came to my blog webpage. So that's pretty doggone good. Again, doesn't include Claude, doesn't include ChatGPT or any of them, just Google. Okay. So let's go over here right now and let's look at Bing. And we go to, is it search performance? Here we go. Again, just the blog website, upper left-hand corner. In the last 30 days, 1,600 times this has been shown. 96 times people have clicked through it. So I've got almost 100 here on Bing. I've got 147. So a little bit less than 250, let's say 245 maybe here, that people have seen my blogs. Again, just on Google, just on Bing, nowhere else. And I've got to figure out how to measure the other things. I've got some people trying to sell me some things, but I'm not ready to buy yet because I don't know how accurate it is. So if you have some questions on this, do not miss these steps. And I'll come back later and I'll show some plugins you can do on WordPress that will do some of this for you. Bing is pretty much automated. Google, I'm told, is hit or miss, but we'll learn more about that. If you got some questions, give me a call. I'm here to help. 941-400-8735. My phone number is on the screen. And also, this is Saturday afternoon. Tomorrow morning, I'll be on an airplane headed to San Diego for the Tom Ferry Elite Conference. Feel free to give me a call out there. I'd love to sit down. I got a half a day free on Sunday. I've got all day Monday until dinner time. I'd love to sit down. I'd love to connect with you. And I'd like to share some things and I'd like to learn from you. So again, I look forward to going forward. I'll do more videos in terms of how we take this to the next steps. There's a structure that's required with some JSON code, schema, things like that, but we can automate that, make it very simple. There's also some other tweaks we want to make to it, and I'll share more about that kind of stuff. But if you have some questions, give me a call, and have a great rest of your weekend, and I look forward to working with you.